What if Earth lost its atmosphere? The Earth floating serenely in space, with the thin blue line of the atmosphere clearly visible. Our atmosphere. It's the invisible shield that protects all life on Earth. But what if, in a single moment, it disappeared? Welcome back to our channel. Please like and subscribe the video. The first few moments without an atmosphere. A sudden flash of light as the atmosphere vanishes, followed by an eerie stillness. In the first few moments, chaos would erupt. Without air, sound would stop traveling. There would be a deafening silence, so quiet it would be terrifying. People gasping for a breath, panic on city streets, birds falling from the sky, and aircraft plummeting. Without the atmosphere, there's no air for humans or animals to breathe. Oxygen levels would plummet to zero instantly. In less than a minute, every living creature would start suffocating. Planes falling from the sky, burning up as they hit the frictionless vacuum. Planes would fall from the sky, unable to fly. Fire needs oxygen too, so there would be no flames. But without air, things would burn in a different way, directly exposed to the sun's unfiltered radiation. The sky changes, instant temperature swings. The once blue sky fades to black as stars become visible in the daytime. Without an atmosphere, the blue sky would disappear, leaving a pitch-black void. The stars would be visible even in broad daylight. Day and night cycles shifting rapidly. Temperatures fluctuating violently. Temperatures would begin to swing wildly. In direct sunlight, the Earth's surface would heat up to 120 degrees Celsius, 280 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, in the shadow of night, temperatures would drop to minus 150 degrees Celsius, 238 degrees. The oceans and lakes rapidly evaporating as intense solar radiation hits them. The oceans would start to boil. Water exposed to space would vaporize, evaporating into the vacuum of space, leaving behind barren, cracked surfaces. Earth's magnetic field protects the atmosphere from being stripped away by solar wind. Without an atmosphere, solar wind would continuously blow away any gases released into space. While volcanic activity could release some gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor, it would take millions or even billions of years for enough gases to be released to recreate anything close to the atmosphere we have now. What happens to life? Without air, nearly all life would perish. Plants, animals, and even microorganisms depend on the atmosphere for survival. Photosynthesis would cease, and without oxygen, even the deepest creatures of the sea would eventually suffocate. From the perspective of other celestial bodies or space missions, Earth would look vastly different without its atmosphere. The blue and white appearance, due to clouds and air scattering sunlight, would vanish, leaving a duller, barren world that might look more like the Moon or Mars. Deep-sea footage, thermal vents, and extremophiles struggling to survive. Some of the last survivors might be extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme environments, but even they would be wiped out as the oceans vanished, and heat or freezing temperatures became too intense. Could anything survive? Underground bunkers and astronauts in spacesuits. Could anyone survive? Maybe humans in deep underground bunkers with controlled air systems could hold out for a while. Scientists and astronauts on the International Space Station, far above the Earth, would be unaffected, at least for the time being. The ISS circling the Earth, a lone astronaut looking down at the darkened planet. But life as we know it would be unsustainable. Without the protective shield of the atmosphere, radiation from the sun would be too harsh, and our once vibrant planet would be reduced to a barren, lifeless rock. How would Earth look without an atmosphere? A CGI rendition of Earth without its atmosphere, dusty, barren, and cracked. Without its atmosphere, Earth would look more like the Moon or Mars. Desolate, scarred by solar radiation, and stripped of its oceans, forests, and life. A lifeless, ghostly planet adrift in space. A final sweeping shot of the Earth from space, barren and empty. The atmosphere is losing it would mean the end of life as we know it. If Earth lost its atmosphere completely, it would be nearly impossible for it to naturally reform an atmosphere within any reasonable time span. Earth's original atmosphere formed from volcanic activity and the outgassing of gases from its interior. After the loss of an atmosphere, volcanic activity would need to start over, but it wouldn't happen quickly enough to rebuild an atmosphere. Earth losing its atmosphere wouldn't significantly alter the gravitational forces within the solar system. The mass of the atmosphere is minuscule compared to the mass of the Earth. So the gravitational pull between Earth and other celestial bodies would remain unchanged. Satellites in low Earth orbit rely on the atmosphere for drag and eventual re-entry when they deorbit. Without an atmosphere, space debris and defunct satellites would stay in orbit much longer, leading to an increased risk of collisions. The loss of Earth's atmosphere wouldn't have any direct effects on the other planets in the solar system. The mass of Earth would remain the same, and the planets would continue their orbits as usual. There would be no significant gravitational changes, and no planet would be disturbed by Earth's atmospheric loss. In summary, while Earth would experience drastic changes, the impact on the solar system would be quite limited. It would mainly affect Earth's immediate vicinity, space debris, satellite orbits, and lunar surface weathering, but not the larger structure or dynamics of the solar system.